Hey guys, Charles with the Sports Leadership Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. What a wild card weekend. We got Aaron McFessel, we have Alex Muncy, and once again we have Stephen Guerin. So, guys, give us some reactions from the last week's AFC games. You had Baltimore, just not really close one until the end, but you guys go for it.
What a snooze fest this weekend was. These games were not exciting to watch. However, let me back up. Offensively, these games were not fun to watch. Defensively, these were awesome knockdown, drag-out games. And AFC, I'm going to brag because I sucked in the NFC. So I predicted both AFC outcomes, and I'll start and throw it back to you guys with the Colts and Texans. Colts winning a surprising one, 21-7. It didn't surprise me because I knew the Colts were the hottest team in football, and I wasn't really buying what Deshaun Watson was selling just yet. But what do you guys think? I want to hear it. Alex, what do you think? We'll start with you.
I don't know. I think it surprised me. The Texans played like garbage. The Colts, in the end, obviously pulled it out, but I don't think they played their best football. Yeah. They could definitely play better. And the Ravens, like you said, it's just boring. Like where were they? They weren't there the whole game until 10 minutes left in the fourth.
Baltimore played.
Surprisingly, yes. Yeah, they did actually. But I didn't really take anything away from these games, honestly, the AFC games.
I had a couple takeaways, and I kind of want to see what Steven feeds off this because Steven always has something to say. That's interesting. It really is. Steven's got the best reactions. He's got the best reactions. And I want to see what you have to think. And Charles, you as well, because it's ubiquitous to say that you are not an Andrew Luck fan. And I don't think he wasn't the star in this game by any means. He did turn the ball over once. Andrew Luck was sacked 0 times in this game. That was my biggest takeaway from the Colts side of the ball. Andrew Luck was not sacked at all, and the Texans were so one-dimensional that Deshaun Watson was their leading rusher. Those are my 2 takeaways. Steven, what do you think?
I think this weekend it proved you got to play on the offensive side of the ball. You've got to excel in every aspect. Yeah. So when you saw the 2 teams that won, right, the Chargers and the Colts, they had consistent quarterback play. They could throw from the pocket, and they could make the throws when they needed to make the throws, right? What you saw in Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson was, hey, let's take away their legs. Let's take away the way they can move around in the pocket, and we're going to force them to beat us through the air, and they couldn't do it, right? So you saw 2 different sides of the coin, right? You saw Andrew Luck, Phillip Rivers, more traditional quarterbacks, succeed over maybe more dual threat guys like Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson, and that shows. It showed this weekend. That's what it takes to win in the NFL still. No matter what, you need a quarterback who can throw from the pocket and make every throw consistently, and that's what's going to win, especially in the playoffs. So I think that's the biggest takeaway from this weekend.
I think that's a good point. That's very interesting.
Huge. I completely agree with you guys. I had predicted that Andrew Luck would get sacked by both Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt. Didn't happen. Them getting to him, them not getting to him was crazy to me. And I've said it before. I don't like Andrew Luck, but he's a good quarterback. He's an elite, probably top 2 tier quarterback in my opinion. And you give him any time, you don't sack him, lights out, man. And that's what he was against a suspect Texans defensive backfield that maybe has been so underlooked because of that front, the front 7 that they have there, and Whitney Merciless, J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney, and all those guys. So I definitely saw an opening there. Look, the Chargers Ravens game, it wouldn't have mattered to me, I honestly don't. I honestly believe this. It wouldn't have mattered if Lamar Jackson played his best game passing and running the ball. We talked about it a little bit last week. Phillip Rivers has that want and will now, and he needs it to cement his legacy. It's going to take a lot to stop him. But so that's my takeaway. Just Steve hit it on the head. You give these quarterbacks time, especially elite quarterbacks like the two who won. Come on.
And how unimportant is home field advantage?
Yeah, true.
I mean, both road teams won. Both road teams walked into hostile environments and won. And it's like you're starting to see in the NFL, is home field advantage necessarily that important?
Can we talk for a second? Just a quick second. I just want to mention one point. The Houston Texans. So this is their third time playing the Indianapolis Colts.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There has got to be a point in your coaching, your coaching regimen that you're like, we can adjust this way to at least compete. And they just didn't, man. And it was horrible. Not saying the Colts defense didn't play lights out, because they did. Right. They really did.
Right.
But
oh my gosh.
You have got to adjust. And we'll talk about some more with the NFC in terms of coaching arrangements and stuff like that.
Just to play off what you just said, Charles, and then Alex, I want to hear your reaction. You just said it. This was the third time that they met up. And who's one player that they overlooked again in the backfield?
Marlon Mack.
Mack, 24 carries for 148 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
That is dominant in a playoff setting against a team that should know better.
And they know them. That's what trips me out.
Right.
Charles, you said this a few weeks back, and I can't get it out of my head when I see these divisional matchups, is when it's divisional, record doesn't matter.
It goes out the window. It does.
Period. Mm-hmm. That's a 0-0 team against a 0-0 team who has seen each other time and time again. Yeah. And I love watching divisional playoff games because to me that's when the better coach is going to stand out.
Yep, and we saw the better coach.
The Colts out-coached them, and Alex, I want to hear your reaction.
Yeah, you said it. Marlon Mack was very dominant. The Colts overall were the better team. They played hard. And kind of a segue into the prediction this weekend, I think that is what is going to have them win against the Chiefs in Kansas City. I think the Chiefs aren't who people think they are. The Chiefs are a high-point team, but going up against a defense like the Colts, the way that they played this past weekend, I think the Colts will have it in the bag.
Before we get into the prediction, I kind of want to touch one more time on the Chargers and the Ravens. I really hadn't had a chance to talk about them yet. How one-dimensional was this Chargers team? Like, they beat a bad Ravens team who, in my opinion, was not playing to win the game. They weren't playing to win the game. They were playing for their future, which is fine. But that's another discussion for another time. The Los Angeles Chargers, Phillip Rivers threw for 160 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Did they win?
He didn't lose them the game. That's what I'm saying. He did what he needed to do.
I mean, Russell Wilson made a Hall of Fame career off of games like that.
Gordon, but Russell Wilson feeds off of a dynamic rushing attack. Melvin Gordon had 17 carries for 40 yards. That's 2.4 yards a carry. All I'm going to say if the Chargers play like that again next week, they're going to be packing up and flying back home to LA very disappointed. This is supposed to be the most complete team in football who played down to the Ravens level. I think after this weekend, what this weekend in the AFC showed me is that the Colts right now are the most dangerous team. They're the most complete team right now.
I think if anything, that shows a lot about the Chargers in a good way.
Yeah,
I think that
absolutely.
shows that they can win by Phillip Rivers throwing for 450 yards and 6 touchdowns on you, or they can turn around and knock you in your teeth and beat you by 3 points if they need to.
And that's the coaching that I am praising LA. Like, they have the coaching that is very dangerous.
Yeah, Steve, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, real quick, and then we'll go to predictions. Like, I mean, I think in the playoffs you got to learn how to win. You got to win ugly. You got to win ugly in the NFL playoffs, and it's not going to be flashy. The games are going to be tighter. Defenses are going to be better, kind of all around. So props to the Chargers. They won dirty, and they got through.
To make my point that the Ravens were not playing to win the game, and I'll leave it at this, and then we can go into the predictions. But this AFC weekend really intrigued me as far as the matchups. There was 9 minutes left in the game. And you're down 21-3 or 23-3. You're out of that game. 9 minutes left in the game. Lamar Jackson was 3 of 10 with 25 yards, 1 interception, and 5 sacks. That's garbage.
Yep.
And it feeds into the coaching. They were not playing to win that game, and there's reasons they didn't put Joe Flacco in. If he gets hurt, then they're on the hook to pay him next year. I get there's risk there, but it's disappointing for a fan base who I think wanted more after their exciting season. But let's move into the predictions.
Yeah. So real quick, we got Kansas City having Indianapolis come into town. Kansas City currently is a 5.5 point favorite, and the over/under for that game is 57, which is ridiculously high for a playoff game. And the other game, the LA Chargers going to New England. New England's a 4-point favorite in that game with an over/under of 45.5. So I guess we'll start with Indy and Kansas City, guys.
Alex, what do you think?
I think I already said what I wanted to say. I think the Colts are going to win 42-38. Because it's a shootout. I mean, it's to keep up with Patrick Mahomes, you have to be able to shoot out. And I think Andrew Luck can, especially because the Chiefs have such a young defense, especially their corners, and their run game. I think the Colts overall are going to run all over the Chiefs. And I think that's why the Colts will win. And I am so sure that the Colts are going to win. That if they lose, I'm actually going to dye my hair white. If they lose.
I'm down.
So
you heard that here.
Yeah, and it'll be on Instagram. So you guys have to check out Instagram. If they lose, I'm so confident that they're going to win that I'm not even worried.
Wow.
So there's that.
Good on you. I'm picking the Colts to win this game, but I'm not betting my hair on it. I'm picking the Colts to win. They've won 10 out of their last 11, and their defense and running game was second to none this past weekend. But you're coming into arguably the most hostile environment, top 3 hostile environments in national football, against a quarterback who will win his MVP this year in his second year. And my score for this game, 30-27 Colts. I think the Colts are going to get it done, but Patrick Mahomes is going to do enough to keep it interesting. He always does.
Yeah. No. So I'll go next, and I'll keep it quick. I have KCL Randy, 34-24. Don't like Andrew Luck. Told you guys that before.
Yep. I'm gonna go Chiefs as well. So we'll even it out 2-2.
That means you gotta bet your hair now, Steve.
Yeah, no.
We're
no, Chiefs 31, Colts 23. I think it's gonna be a close game. I just don't think the Colts have the firepower to keep up. I think it'll come down to one possession, and I think I give Kansas City the edge in that one possession that I think they can score it almost any time. So we'll go into the Chargers. Pat, since I'm talking, I'll give you guys my prediction right away. New England 24, Chargers 17. I think New England gets it done. They always get it done. Yep. I think the Chargers they got to fly east again. That's tough for any team to do back-to-back weeks. So I just think they're going to be tired. I don't think they're going to have the steam to do it. And I think New England goes to the championship again.
I'll go next. I picked the exact same score. Flip-flop the winner. I think it's going to be Chargers 24, Patriots 17. I think the Chargers offense is going to have a huge bounce-back game against a team that they've seen plenty of times before.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a very good game. I think this is going to be the more exciting game down the wire compared to the two. You've got a desperate at this point quarterback in Phillip Rivers, who's playing arguably his best ball against a team who's been there more times than anybody else in the league. Who knows what it takes? It'll be fun.
Alex.
I have the Patriots winning 24-21. And like Steve said, it is the Patriots. It's Tom Brady. They're in New England. That you said, does home field advantage really matter? When it comes to New England, yes, it does. You got to go there and play. Not saying that LA.
Yep.
The Chargers.
Yep. Still not right.
They are a very good team, very coached team, and I think everyone knows by now that that's what I think that they really are, is just coaching. They have the players that live up to the coaching. I think the New England Patriots players will outplay the Chargers players.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we're going 2-2 on this one again, because I'm going with LA in terms of the Chargers. I think that, again, I talked about it a little bit earlier. The want factor is huge. And, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be 27-24, knockdown, drag out toward the end. I think Phillip Rivers and Melvin Gordon will that offense to another W.
Awesome.
Any final thoughts, guys?
I think Chargers-Patriots is a good matchup. Charles, you just sparked this in my mind. I think that offenses are about flush. I'd say Chargers offense, Patriots offense, they match up well. I think if you take the Chargers defense, the way they played last weekend, is better than the Patriots defense.
Yeah.
A Chargers defense that arguably didn't show up all year. They showed up when it counted, and I think they can do it again. Okay.
Alex, Steve?
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, just in terms of quarterback play, right? I said it. So I think the better two quarterbacks win this week, right?
Yeah.
Whoever's got the better quarterback usually wins, right? So Mahomes and Brady. Those are the two best quarterbacks left.
Okay, I'm with that. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for tuning in again. Join us. We'll be talking about NFC here soon. So, for Steve, Alex, and Aaron, Sports Leaders Podcast, thank you guys.
Thank you.